Thank you. First of all, I want to acknowledge Karen Luke is here also. She and I have been working together on many local efforts with respect to city ordinances. I also, as Mr. Hardy, come to you as representing the average firearm owner. We are trying to wind our way at a local level towards what I would consider common sense gun safety. For those who would say, why don't you just fix the roads? And my answer to that is very simply that part of our charter is public safety, and I consider gun safety as part of the whole umbrella of public safety. Thank you to Victoria for dropping the bill early on in the session that would return home rule to local jurisdictions to adopt ordinances that reflect what we consider the concerns of our constituents. We certainly hear things locally that maybe they hear differently up in Mesa. Let me speak to a couple of very specific advocacy efforts that I and the council have put forward here locally. One is a voluntary buyback. The intent of the voluntary buyback was not to drag criminals in off the street. That has been wholly misrepresented. What it was something that I would have thought, and in my naive sense I reached out to the NRA and asked them to fund it for me, was that I thought the NRA and we would agree on. We don't want untrained people having firearms. We don't want people having firearms in their home if they're simply uncomfortable having them there. And so what we did is we offered the general public an opportunity to bring TPD firearms that they simply wanted to surrender voluntarily and get them out of circulation. About 200 of them were taken out of circulation. At the same time that was occurring, though, adjacent to where we were running the buyback, a group of folks was running their own buyback. I'll put that in quotes. It was cash for guns, and they were trying to outbid the Safeway gift cards that we were offering them. That effort opened my eyes to what we would call the loophole, the need to say, look, if I can walk up to somebody on the street and offer them a wad of cash and walk off with a gun without them knowing anything about my personal psychological or criminal background, there's a problem with that. So what the City Council did a few weeks ago was that we have adopted a resolution, not an ordinance, because we are bound by the state not to adopt ordinances that are more restrictive than the state law. Our resolution now is simply a policy that if you're going to use city property, right to lease it for a gun show, everybody in the building does a background check, person-to-person sales included. Now, Mr. Hardy gave some data, the 0.7%. The other side of that is undercover stings that have been operating in Ohio, Tennessee, Nevada, and Arizona. 63% of the private sellers told the gun purchasers that they probably couldn't pass a background check. That's a problem because the sales went through anyway. Middletown, Colorado, Eric Harris, Bill and Cleveland, they used 2 shotguns and a assault weapon and a Tech 9 assault pistol. They shot 26 students, and the purchases came from gun shows, from private sales of gun shows. Ms. Anderson stated that she been required to fill out paperwork to run her family to go background check. She was not made to purchases. So we can talk about the 0.7%, but when sting operations are conducted, we have a reasonable expectation some percentage of the sales are going to people who otherwise would not have been allowed to make the purchase. I had thought that the NRA would also agree with that. In fact, about 10 years ago, the president of the NRA, William Montpelier, did support background checks. Unfortunately, as recently as last week, in an email blast from the NRA, they said the story posted on NBCnews.com alleges that the NRA will not oppose expanding background check system. This statement is completely untrue. The NRA opposes an expansion of the background check system. Well, to me, that just defies common sense. That's why we're here to talk about common sense laws. There are Republicans at the federal level now who are trying to tack some gun rights amendments onto a finance bill that's going to keep the government going into 2013. That would prevent the VATF from conducting requiring gun dealers from conducting annual inventories to ensure that they haven't had guns for the problem. So we not only don't want the NRA doesn't want background checks, but they don't even want to know guns are being stolen from firearms dealers. Which leads me to what the chief has spoken about, and that is next week at the council level we're going to be engaging the issue of reporting lost or stolen guns. It will identify people who lose them if their gun is later found to be used in a crime. It is simply if the gun is lost or stolen, we're not supposed to. this falls under the whole rubric of common sense. I'm also engaging with TPD to engage with a DHS program called Run, Hide, Fight, which gives some active shooter training, and also working with Pima County right now to put together a forum with respect to the service provision that's available in this community with respect to mental health and behavioral health.